In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the upcoming pattern where there is multiple major storms we need to track because of their severe weather implications. I'm actually extremely concerned about this, and I'm going to tell you guys why throughout this video. We're just going to be walking through it and why I think everyone watching this right now should be on extremely high alert and probably be informed about the specific dates to watch for here for some potential severe weather and even unfortunately tornadic outbreaks here coming up over the next 10 days. I've counted two major opportunities, unfortunately, for major severe weather, and then we have maybe a few more minor possibilities within there as well. Let's just walk through this real quickly, and even as we just reach into this afternoon and evening today on Monday the 27th here, you can see that there is a storm system across the southeast here, but this is not bringing that much severe weather implications, and our jet stream is in general doing this as well. So we're not really watching this one too badly for severe weather anymore, even though it is what caused a lot of our major severe weather earlier on, just a couple of days ago. Now, our first event that we're going to be watching for here, where I think is at least this one has the best chance just because it's the nearest, so we have higher confidence in all of the factors into this one. In general, our jet stream is doing this and then quickly turning around, as you can see, and heading back further south, and this basically becomes a little bit of a flat trough there in the east, but it's this intense rising motion here that is part of the ingredients as to what's causing this major event. And we see rapidly a low developing 999, 998, 995 right here over Colorado. Again, right where we already have this pretty extreme lift and then drop off. So we're seeing this very intense warm air pushing northward here just to the east of that low. And this is the beginning ingredients of a major severe weather outbreak. As we just keep going with this, it starts to move eastward into more favorable conditions. We see this warm front already developing quite intensely already. A 995 still, but we can see this warm front is clearly just really a high precipitation warm front up here to the north. We don't really see a cold front yet, but this low is currently over Nebraska. It has quite a ways to go still. And as we just keep going with this, we start to rapidly see that develop. This is for Friday, and this is the main day we're watching for here. And I don't want to speculate on any risk levels, but it's probably going to be on the upper end there. So somewhere between, obviously higher than slight is what I would say. Something higher than slight is what we can pretty much almost guarantee for Friday the 31st here, the final day of March. We have this, again, very high precipitation warm front. It's pretty evident we have a rising warm air motion out ahead of everything. And then we have this cold air behind it with the cold front that's going to hit this from the side. And I'm going to just draw something. It's going to be obviously up above, but it's going to be a little bit of an illustration. So when you have these winds moving up from the north, and then you have this hitting it from the side, the cold air hitting it from the side, in general, what this causes is rotation up there kind of in the atmosphere, just like this, and then all it takes is a downdraft to push that rotation down, that rotation that's happening way up there kind of on a horizontal level, that eventually can get dropped down from a downdraft, and that is actually what causes tornadoes. So that's why in these situations when there's two areas of wind, one hitting one from the side, that starts to cause that rotation, that flat rotation that can be dropped down and become very vertical, obviously, which would be a tornado or at least a supercell. That can lead towards all sorts of implications. And we definitely have those tornadic ingredients here on Friday. Again, I would just want to play it. This is Friday at about 5 a.m. Watch how much development we see underneath all of this, just from that point, 5 a.m. forward towards the afternoon. So this is taking us towards maybe 8 a.m., then about 11 a.m., here's at about 2 p.m., and then here's by about, we'll call it 4 p.m., and then by about 6 or 7 here, we have very high precipitation. And actually, as we keep going, things just worsen. They head further eastward, but we do have still very high precipitation even overnight at about 2 a.m. there, progressing with this whole cold front and everything. We see the low dropping down to a 985 as well. So we still have these very intense ingredients, this warm front stretching all the way to the east coast now. This cold front kind of stretching like this. So we have this very long line of surging warm air to the north, as you can see, still for the east, and then this intense cold air. So intense, we actually see snow there in the upper Midwest as well, and we see that hitting it from the side. So definitely we're watching for a lot of severe weather implications. And then I think for day 2 here on Saturday, April 1st, we could be watching for some severe weather here from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, perhaps up into Virginia. That remains to be it's kind of not known yet, and we can see the jet stream by this point is doing about like this. So there's still warm air along the East Coast, but that is quickly going to be coming to an end. So really, we're watching that Friday the 31st into Saturday the 1st time frame for major severe weather event number 1. And then this one is one of those more question mark events. We can see this low develops up to the north, and we have a cold front doing something like this. I could see the case for severe weather happening along that cold front here, as there's probably some very warm air pushing and putting up a fight. This is maybe becoming a stationary front by this point, and we definitely have a lot of moisture in there. So that is a bit of a question mark, but it's this one that I expect to be maybe our next severe weather event, as we see the same thing. This low develops, and it's a little bit more intense this time around, but it's moving towards Nebraska. We have a warm front already, so remember, that's exactly what happened with storm number 1. We keep seeing this develop, and as it reaches into Missouri and Illinois, here is a 994. We see a stronger cold front developing underneath, warm front stretching all the way to the East Coast. And once again, if I just draw this illustration, we have exactly the same setup. So this warm air surging to the north here, to the east of that cold front, and then the cold front is blasting in with some pretty darn intense cold air with it. And that again would hit it from the side, again causing that kind of rotation up in the atmosphere that can get pushed down with a downdraft and an intense thunderstorm, and very, very easily become supercells or tornadic activity in general. And this gets really intense actually as we head. That's going to be, I forgot to mention the dates on this one, so I'm just going to move back real quickly. We see that this develops, that cold front, for Tuesday, April 4th is the date that we're officially watching here. Tuesday, April 4th into even Wednesday, which looks a little bit worse perhaps. A little bit higher precipitation, so we don't know yet. But this event here is going to be Tuesday to Wednesday, 4th to 5th. Very strong low up here in Ohio. We see that cold front stretching just like this, warm front doing this. So we have this warm surging air for the East Coast. This cold air coming in behind, causing a very intense cold front. And for this particular event, I would be watching anywhere in this corridor here for severe weather. So the southeast, even as far north as the mid-Atlantic, wouldn't be surprised to see a general thunderstorm risk, perhaps our first marginal or slight risk of severe weather. That can't be ruled out either. And then I think the setup here south of the low in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and keep in mind this could move around a lot, but that also appears to be very favorable for severe weather along that cold front. So we could be watching for our first, again, more moderate severe weather event in those areas as well. And then for our deeper south, this could be a more major event. Again, being probably the 5th one this year we've had so far. Just this would be the 3rd one in just a few weeks. So definitely a very, very intense situation. And we reached the end of the model run here as a 993. Here, very high precipitation along the East Coast. Probably thunderstorm activity at the very least for a lot of these states. And severe weather definitely looking very possible with this setup as well. So there it is, the 2 very, very major potential severe weather events that I see in the upcoming pattern. Unfortunately, things look extremely active. Real quickly, as we take a look at the total precipitation, again, we see these storms moving across these regions here. We see 2 very major storms do that, and they feature these cold fronts underneath, and that's why we get very high amounts of precipitation for these areas. Anywhere in the reds being 2 to 5 inches just over the next 10 days. So certainly a lot of precipitation appears to be on the way here. As we take a look at the total snowfall as well, we can see that everything underneath where these lows track, which is pretty much like this, everything underneath here has no snow popping up at all. But just to the north and west of these lows, we do see pretty high amounts, actually. Anywhere from 1 to 3 feet of snowfall in these corridors here. And then again, out west, we're still seeing plenty of snowfall. So the wintry conditions for you folks out in the mountainous west certainly looks to continue here. Very, very interesting stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please take note of these dates and just stay on high alert. You can always look at the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center for the latest and most accurate updates there on severe weather, life-saving information over there. I always highly recommend that to anybody when there is severe weather potentially on the way. So be sure to check with them. We will also be doing daily updates here on the channel as always for these upcoming patterns. And certainly we're going to be tracking these situations particularly closely. So be sure to subscribe. We do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to also like the video and leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next video.